At the first light of dawn, Marra emerged from the upper tunnel, her tiny antennae searching for the last grains of summer. She paused, puzzled by a strange white shimmer blanketing the grass. As she reached out a leg, a sharp chill shot through her. It was frost. The cold had bitten deep into the ground, as if the earth itself had turned its back on life. But deep within the nest, in the Queen's Grand Hall, worker ants gathered around Luma, the trusted messenger. Her voice resonated, deep and steady, like the distant beat of powerful wings. "The Queen commands," she announced, "we must store twice as much as last year. This winter will be long." A collective shiver ran through the crowd, not from the cold, but from a shared deep-seated fear. In the storage chambers, Thim meticulously stacked grains while Marra grumbled beside him, frustrated by the slow, deliberate pace. "If we just moved a little faster, we could save so much more," she complained. Thim replied stiffly, without looking up. Those who rushed fall, the air between them crackled with unspoken tension, caution, clashing with courage, duty against desire. One day, a reckless scout named Crick returned, his laughter echoing down the tunnel. "I've found it. A shortcut to the dry fields beyond the old stump. We can save hours, and no one will ever notice." Marra's eyes sparkled with excitement. But Thim was quick to warn. A shortcut shortens more than just the road, it often shortens life. Despite his words, the allure of adventure was too strong, and excitement quickly overcame caution. But the sky soon turned to ash. The air grew thick, heavy, and damp. By evening, as they emerged from the narrow shortcut tunnel, the rain began to fall, not as drops, but like sharp knives of water. Muddy water poured into the passages, and the earthen roof above them started to collapse. Up, Crick shouted to the roots of the big tree. They scrambled for higher ground, the biting cold crawling deep into their tiny joints. When the relentless storm finally ceased, a chilling truth settled upon them. They were lost, far from the familiar warmth of the colony. Huddled beneath unfamiliar roots, in a land now silent and steaming with cold, they had lost all sense of direction. Marra trembled uncontrollably. Thim, determined, bit down on a splinter of wood as if it were a sword of resolve. Before them stretched a vast field, its seeds coated in a cruel layer of snow. It was nature's bitter joke, an abundance of food, but utterly unreachable. "Maybe we can just take a few grains," Marra whispered, her voice weak, "and come back for more tomorrow." Crick let out a short, harsh laugh. "Tomorrow, if tomorrow even finds us alive." But deep below, in the heart of the colony, Luma had noticed their absence. She assembled a rescue team of the toughest workers, her own antennae twitching as she followed the faint traces of Marra's scent across the snow. The fierce wind worked against them, erasing the trail almost as soon as they found it, but Luma pressed on. "The Queen does not lose her children to the cold," she declared, her voice a beacon of hope against the howling wind. When the rescue team finally found them, the three explorers were barely moving, their small bodies stiff with cold. Tluma, and her workers gently covered them with warm moss and began the long, slow journey back home. As they entered the queen's chamber, she opened her eyes and saw them, safe but exhausted. She said nothing, but slowly lifted her head and released a delicate fragrance of pure gratitude that filled every tunnel of the colony. Weeks passed, and the iron grip of winter began to soften. One morning, Marra caught a new scent in the air, the first warm, earthy promise of spring. She looked over at Thim and Crick, who were now recovering. "You know," she said thoughtfully, "maybe that shortcut wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe it was just a lesson." For the very first time, a small smile touched Thim's face, and "the best lessons," he replied, "are always learned in the heart of winter." Thank you for joining us for this story. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales from the natural world. We'll see you next time.